I think I'd like to start today's episode with a science lesson.
Oh, okay.
So for some background, I had a iced matcha this morning on our glass coffee table in a glass cup itself. It's warm in our house because it's hot as fuck on the East Coast right now. If you know, you know. And so doors are open, windows are open, whatever. And not only does the condensation start to occur through my glass, which duh, right? It's an iced drink. It's hot as fuck. I pick up my glass to put it in the sink, and there's not only condensation now on the top of the glass dripping down from what was my cup, but
the top of the coffee table, our coffee table's glass.
Yes. And then now it's on the bottom side of the coffee table, and it just didn't make sense to me. So I had to look it up. And this is a no-brainer to some of you who probably remember fucking, what is it? What
Science
would that
class.
be? What would that, like physics, I guess?
Yeah.
Condensation's physics.
Yeah.
Or
chemistry?
Maybe chemistry. When did we start talking about like evaporation, precipitation? Is that earth science?
Earth science.
Okay, so then I think this is earth science because that's pretty much what it's explaining.
Okay.
Cold air has a lower dew point. Do you remember dew points?
Yeah.
And that's why condensation occurs, is because there's more moisture than oxygen. Mm-hmm. So the moisture's got to go somewhere.
But did you find anything as to why it went underneath the table?
The same way it goes through a glass. It's just a cold thing.
Oh.
It's a cold object in warm air.
The water occurred on both sides of it.
Yes, because it was that cold compared to the air in here, because it's probably like 78 in here.
Yeah.
So like,
wow,
yeah, that's really
so
cool.
Nuts.
I had to look it up. It was
I love science. Actually, that's a lie. I've always hated science.
Oh, I love science. I love science so much, and I've always loved it. I just didn't take it much, and I did the bare minimum, and and everything in high school, to be honest.
I felt like,
but I should have gone into it. I think I would have been really good at it.
I don't know if it was our school district or what, but I feel like we weren't required to take like a certain amount of classes. Like I remember I didn't have to take math or science senior year, but I wanted to because
math you only had to go to
junior year.
You only had to go to algebra.
No.
Yeah, that's where I stopped. And like I stopped because that's where I can stop.
I took algebra 2 freshman year.
Okay.
Well, no, but like but that's crazy. Like, how would I only have to go to freshman? That's what I'm saying. Like, was it just our school district? That's nuts. That you don't have to. You should have to take math all 4 years of high school.
Yeah. I took geometry, or no, I TA'd geometry. Never mind. That's why I'm thinking I took it. I just TA'd geometry. And then I actually ended up really liking geometry when I was TAing for it. I was like, oh, this makes so much sense because like it's so visual, whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember we only had to go to algebra 1. And then we only had to go to biology. So all you had to take was earth science freshman year.
Yeah.
And then biology, whatever year. It's just you can't leave until you finish with biology. So I only took 2 sciences.
Because I remember I took algebra 8th grade. So I got into high school, took algebra 2, and then took geometry, and then...
I don't know what I did in 8th grade then. Isn't it just math in 8th grade? Like
I don't remember.
I don't know. I thought it was just like a general math in middle school. God, I have no idea.
But how could you possibly get into high school and not have to take math or sciences for at least 3 years of it? That's nuts.
Yeah.
Our school system sucks.
Yeah, but you have to take PE.
Right. Oh, run that mile.
In your jeans. Like, what? No, we had clothes. But in middle school, actually, maybe that was just me.
Yeah, you and Cassie would wear jeans under your PE sweats.
Because we refused. I was the kid that refused to put on the PE clothes. I didn't want to dress up for PE. So I would just put the sweats over my jeans and then I walked the fucking mile.
I had a PE teacher that if anyone showed up not in like full uniform, like by the rules, we would all have to run the mile.
Oh my God. That's actually so smart though.
Yeah.
So
I would be pissed at you if you were in my class and you were like, valid. That.
And I wouldn't have done it. If that was the rule in my class, I wouldn't be that bitch.
I had Coach Joe.
Ugh. Coach Joe.
Everyone hated Coach Joe, but I was his TA.
Yeah.
And I loved him.
Before we get into this, can we roll the intro? Hello, everybody. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
I didn't know I could feel like that.
Coach Joe was a good guy, like is a good guy, good teacher. Like now when I look back at it as an adult, I do understand
he taught discipline.
His like motivation behind the way he was. Do I think he had little man syndrome? Yes.
Sure.
But he was exceptionally rude to like football players and cheerleaders. And I think it's because he had like an internalized.
Interesting.
Like maybe he got bullied.
Yeah, and
that's a fucking thing.
I didn't get the wrath of that because I was a nerd.
You weren't a nerd. You were not a nerd.
But I wasn't. You were like
smart.
I was smart, but I definitely like wasn't a part of that football or cheerleader crowd.
Sure. And I think a lot of teachers and like even like cops, I get that vibe from them.
Totally.
That they like. You target the people that bullied you.
Totally.
That was his vibe. Was he ever rude to me? No. Was I a cheerleader? Yes. But seeing how he treated the other people around me, I don't know. Like maybe that's like a bigger thing. Like when people are like, oh, they were never rude to me. Like respect that you have no animosity towards a person because you have no reason to be. Just because you're not rude to me, if you're rude to others, I still see through that. Yeah. And that's how he was. I was like, you're nice to me, but why are you nice to me when the person next to me is acting the same way as me, but you're rude to them?
Yeah.
Like I never understood that about him.
I never witnessed that side of him. Right. And he was just so cool to me, like from the jump. I think I had him either freshman or sophomore year as my teacher. And then I went to him senior year. Gotcha. Yeah, for PE. And then I went to him senior year. And I was like, oh, we also had him for bowling.
Bowling, he was so fine.
So
he was
cool.
So cool.
And I had him for bowling. Easy. And then the class before that, I was his TA.
So you were just with him for like 4 hours?
For literally half the day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
And
you guys had a friendship.
No, literally. And me and remember Juan Ventura?
Oh yeah,
great guy. We got so tight senior year.
Great guy. If you're listening, hi Juan.
Hi Juan.
No shawty's listening.
Coach Joe used to let me and Juan leave and like go get donuts or go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So
you earned it. You earned his respect.
He was but I get that. There's a reason why people hated him, but yeah, I don't know. I just never saw that side of him. So
you got to treat everybody equally until they give you a reason not to. But when you have internalized animosity, like that's on you.
Yeah.
But I will say he got in a car accident
while we were in school.
He either got like in a car accident or he got hit by a car or something like that. He was fine, but he was out for a little bit on medical. And when he came back, he was happy, and you could tell it was one of those life-altering moments where it shook his core, and he was like, I need to be a good person.
Yeah.
And then he was nice.
Yeah, I don't remember. Did that happen while we were...
I want to say no earlier than junior year, could have been senior year.
Okay.
But it was later. I had him 3 out of 4 years.
Yeah.
So when I had him pre-accident, that's when
you saw the switch. Yeah.
And then after the accident, he was like
interesting,
a lot more calm. He was like, he'd even be like, it doesn't matter, guys. It's all good. Like he was super easygoing, and like
you hear that a lot when people are faced with like something crazy that happens in their life. It makes them see that life is really short.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I forget exactly what it was, but it was some type of accident. It was something pretty serious. I don't know. I need to try and remember what it was, but crazy. Why do we talk about PE?
I don't know. Oh, science.
Oh, condensation. So there's your science lesson today that I wanted to open today's episode with. Next subject. Last week, we obviously talked about Love Island for a very long time in the episode, and we do want to apologize. We saw some comments, and people were like, hey, I don't watch Love Island. Like, I don't want to hear about this. Super valid. We're still going to talk about it, but we're going to keep it shorter. I think we should keep it shorter.
It won't be like a whole...
We spoke for like 36 minutes about Love Island.
Sorry, guys. It was the first time we spoke about it this season. Yeah. So we had to get all of our thoughts out.
We had to get our first episode jitters out.
We just won't do that again. Sorry about that.
So let's keep it here. It's 11:16 right now. We need to be done talking about this by, I'm going to say 11:24.
Perfect. We talked about last week how we loved Rob and Leah, and how Rob is such a good guy, and how he is just showing that a man could still be a man. But boy, were we wrong.
He is manipulative. He is trash, and he's thinking with his dick.
Woe is me. The way he sat there and was like, so a girl came in, and he like obviously gravitated towards her. She gravitated towards him. And he was clearly giving her more time than Leah. And he pulled Leah aside and was like, are you going to ask me how I'm feeling about this? Are you going to ask me like what's wrong? like clearly something's wrong, and then starts crying.
Fully makes it about him. Fully goes into victim mode.
And she's like, are you going to ask me what I think? Like, you're the one who fucking dipset.
You have two people to choose from.
Right.
Like, nobody feels bad for you right now.
Right.
And, I mean, we're talking to the people that have watched it, so you guys know what happens. Then Leah mouths fuck you to him at the recoupling, which go her. She held it in, and like in the beginning when we learned about her that she was a triple Leo, up until this moment I was like, where's that Leo? Like, come on. You're a triple, like, come on, give us something. And now it's fucking coming out, and I'm so glad. And like, I do like her and Connor a lot. I do feel bad for Janae. Yeah. It feels like a sticky situation right there. But I love Janae and the way she went about it. She was like, if they're a vibe, they're a vibe. But I just hope she's not doing it
to get back
to Rob, which is so valid on Janae's part. Because that would be shitty if someone stole your person out of spite for someone else. Then it's just like messy love square. Right. Love triangle.
I love Connor. I think he's Connor like approaching this really well and like respectfully.
He's like good at Love Island.
Right. And the fact that he even said, he was like, now that Leah's not all wrapped up in Rob, like, I'm gonna shoot my shot. You could tell when they would be like sitting together as friends or having conversations that there was a pull between them.
Yes.
But I think it's really cool that he let her and Rob run its course.
See it out.
See it through. And like, now that he has his op, he's sliding in there and he's like running game.
I love the way he flirts. He immediately went into like, he started talking about cartoons. They were talking about plants. Like, I love the way he banters.
Yep.
And I really, really, really respect that before he even attempted to slide on Leah, he told Janae, hey, now that they're done, I do want to let you know, blah, blah, blah. So I think that's so respectful, especially in Love Island. You rarely see that when like it's the easiest, most respectful thing to do, man or woman, when you're going to go tell your couple or when you're going to go after someone else, at least let them know where you're at so it's not sneaky, so it doesn't come out on movie night later in the season or Casa Amor or anything like that. Like, he's so graceful about it, and I really like them. I think she's still in Robland. How could she not be? It
literally happened
24 hours ago.
Right.
But I hope she starts to kind of relax and really let that go, as hard as I'm sure that is to be in the same four walls in the same villa as the person you're not fucking with right now. But I hope she like
and like on, to see her options too, because the fact that immediately another guy was kind of waiting for her to be free so that he can make his move, and that was just one guy in the villa. So, and there's a new guy, and I think she's a fucking catch.
Absolutely.
And I
love
think
her so much.
If she drops the whole Rob thing, which she will, she'll get through it, and like focuses on her pooling and how like a dope of a girl she is, she can literally get anyone in the villa.
She'll wrap anybody around her finger. The new guy that just came in during the kissing booth thing, when he went to kiss, is it Andrea or Andrea?
Andrea.
I say Andrea because Andrea Russa is like the only Andrea I think of. But I think it's Andrea. And then he looked back at Rob and was like, I'm going to take my time with this one.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll necessarily happen, but I hope, like in my core, I hope he pulls her, and I hope Andrea ends up liking this new guy. Yeah. So Rob is left in the dust with nobody. Like, that's what this man needs to see right now.
He also, I like really like him so far. He also looked like the new guy. He looked like he had a good connection with Serena. When it showed the previews for next episode, who was he saying he came here for? I guess it showed him talking to Janae, Liv, and I liked his kiss with Serena. I think they would have good chemistry. Mm-hmm. I like that he's coming in here talking to multiple women.
He's playing the game. Hold on, checking my time.
He's cute.
Yeah, we have 2 minutes technically.
Yeah, those are all my those are my notes for these past few episodes.
That Rob shit, and then he said, I think he literally said ejaculated. I just haven't ejaculated in a minute.
Yeah.
So my head, and she was like, yeah, for sure. Like, girl, are you really about to like hype up your man?
If a man said that to me one day into being my potential suitor, I'm out of there.
And he was so dead
serious. He was like, oh, I mean, on top of it, I haven't ejaculated in a while. So, are you on
what a weirdo. That's not even like on some player shit. Like, that's weird.
He showed some weird shit. We'll end on this. But the way that he like we said, he ran away crying and like went and hid in the pool
under the fucking like
ledge in
ledge.
the pool. Like, relax. I would get the immediate ick.
Like, regulate your emotions, babe.
Yeah.
Like, that's.
And if you needed, like, you even made it, you made a good point while we were watching it. If he needed some alone time and to like decompress, go into a empty bedroom. Like, you're going into the pool where everyone can see you.
Every camera's out there.
You want
exactly
everyone to come up to you. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Exactly. And I'm glad nobody did.
No.
And then I loved after like Hakeem and Liv's thing, all the boys went and made her Liv breakfast.
Yeah,
like,
that was really sweet.
Good boys. Good boys.
Hakeem sucks too.
Hakeem is batshit. There's something about him where I could see him like kicking a dog or something. You know what I mean? Like I could see him snapping and like getting aggressive towards like an animal.
Something weird. This is the second time he's lashed out on a woman.
He like makes it about like, you're just being immature, and he just stays all calm and like looks at them like.
And then he goes, there were a couple things that were said that makes me think there were conversations between the two of them that were just so fishy. One of them was he sat her down and he goes, it seems like you've been working on some of the things we talked about and you're actually getting better at them.
Yes.
Huh?
He's like took like 3 weeks of therapy and like tries to just like take all the terms and the.
It's weird. And then, so the second one, she was sitting there and she was like, yeah, you already gave me a list of things that I can't do or that I'm not allowed to do.
Yeah. Red flag.
Weird.
Can't do this 3 days in.
3 days in, not allowed to. Allowed is just a word that's like.
That should not exist in relationships.
No.
Unless we're talking about like cheating.
Right.
You're not allowed to cheat. Like, no shit though.
But you shouldn't have to, like, that goes unspoken. You shouldn't have to say allowed.
You are not allowed to do this.
Like, no, you just don't.
Disgusting.
Weirdo.
Okay, that's enough about Love Island. Is that a good amount, guys? we
Let us know.
We were talking really fast. I was trying to like push everything in there because I feel like I could keep going, but we won't. Okay, hopping into the rest of today's episode. Happy last Monday of the month.
Should we name these?
I don't know. Advice column.
Advice column.
Yeah. We got the sign. I don't know. If you don't know, the last Monday of every month, we allot our Monday episode to a general advice column. We have you guys send everything into our email, advicepodcast@gmail.com. We always remind you on socials, so don't feel like you have to remember that each month. But we got some good ones. I'm looking at these subject lines, and they're kind of crazy. So I say we
hop right in. Thanks to everyone who wrote in.
Yes, thank you guys.
I see a good one. I'll go first.
Okay.
This one is called My Secret Marriage. Send help.
Secret marriage is
scary.
Sounds a lot like a lot of stuff to deal with.
Sounds like a you problem. Hi friends, please keep anon. Let me start off by saying I have a cat and I call her Mama, just like what you call Link. Oh, Mama. Anyway, I married my lover of 4 years last year and it's been hectic to say the least. I am his second wife, therefore I am a secret still. We met at work and fell in love and now we're here. He is much older than me. I'm 23 and he's in his late 30s and nobody knows about us besides my sister. He's not very rich, so it's been complicated for us to move in together and tell people, and I'm scared about what my parents will say and ruining my family's reputation. I also feel sad because I don't live with him right now or work at that place anymore, so we only see each other once a week and never at night. I feel sad that she gets him wait a minute. So he is still married?
Yes, it's a fully hidden marriage.
Wow.
She was saying, yeah.
Okay. I thought you meant like second, like he got divorced and then a new marriage.
No, fully like second marriage.
This is crazy. I also feel sad because I don't live with him right now or work at that place anymore. So we only see each other once a week and never at night. I feel sad that she gets him every day while I am loyal and alone. This is a choice I made, but I don't think that we'd wait a year to move in together. And now that his finances aren't good, God only knows when that'll be. I am young and I love him and he loves me, but I feel impatient. I don't want to wait to move in, wait to tell people, wonder what his wife will say or do. In our religion, it's taboo to divorce, and so we hope that she will leave him on her own. It's a lot. I feel like I won't be this young anymore. I want to have many kids and the unknown is scary. How do I wait it out? How do we tell people? How do I cope if his first wife wants to stay? I'm so confused. I know that I'm not the first polygamous relationship to ever exist. I just need help and advice. Please answer all of my questions. I really need the help. Love you guys, and link.
Is it like a polyamorous situation though?
Right.
Or because it sounds like it's a secret.
It sounds like an affair.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need more information about this. Like, does the wife
that's what
know?
I can't tell.
She's not going to leave if she doesn't know.
No.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think she knows, because if she knew, they wouldn't need to be tiptoeing. Right.
Right. But also on that same note, if you're expecting her to just leave, are you planning on telling her? Yeah.
Okay. Right. She doesn't know.
She doesn't know.
She doesn't know.
Yeah.
This is really fucking crazy, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the tug and pull you're feeling, to say the least. And I am sorry on that regard. But like you said, you did put yourself in this situation.
This was a choice.
This really was a choice. And it sounds like rightfully so. You want to be chosen. You want to be living with your lover and all these things. But I don't think those two things can exist with this person in this situation right now. So I think I would, if I were you, I would rethink what you want in a person, regardless of, him specifically, what you want in your love and what you want in your person. I just don't, like I said, I just don't think it can exist with this person. So
no. And I
think you should leave the situation.
Absolutely.
And go get what you want.
It's one thing to put yourself in the situation, but then to expect the other people involved to kind of just abide by what's happening and make the decision that you want for you. Like, you can't expect her to just leave the situation. If your husband wants to end the marriage and then live the life with you, which is what it sounds like you want, he needs to do that if he wants to do that. But you can't expect his wife to just like abide by your guys' relationship.
Yeah, like in that regard, she almost has nothing to do with it. In that way.
Yeah.
He needs to step up.
Yep.
And there's another thing to consider. If your man can't fucking step up
and like
want
make
you
a decision,
you deserve so much better.
It just sounds like you're in a situation that you don't want all the terms of.
Yeah, and like that can't exist.
No.
Okay, next entry, subject line really got me. Bears over men any day. Hi ladies, this situation just happened to me yesterday and thought I would send in to hear your thoughts. I'm currently in the middle of my 75-day challenge, so I was doing my hot girl walk and decided to walk around the lake near my apartment. Mind you, it was after 7 p.m. at night, but the sun had not set and I was anticipating a lovely walk with a beautiful sunset. Boy, was I wrong. I pulled into the parking lot and I noticed a guy that appeared to be done with his walk and run and was kind of stretching and hanging out near his car. I didn't think twice, as there were numerous different families enjoying the swing set, the sun, and just in the area. So I got out of my car and needed to switch my shoes. So I quickly changed into my walking shoes and I walked towards the trail. For some reason, the guy who I had noticed when I pulled in was somehow walking on the trail in front of me. I shrugged it off and thought that I guess he was starting his workout, not ending it. I put my AirPods in and I turned on my favorite podcast, Oddvice. Oh, thanks. Within the first few minutes, the guy in front of me sat down on a bench, and that's when my female sense started tingling. He of course knew of my existence and stopped to sit on the bench for a reason, and I just hoped to God he would not say anything as I passed. Wrong again. I quickly increased my walking pace to pass him and did not look towards him, but unfortunately, this man, nay, boy, decided to open his mouth. He made a comment similar to, "Look at you, girl, get those gains in." Ugh. And I kept walking, hoping he thought I didn't hear him. But then he said something like, "How many laps are you doing? Let me do them with you." At this point, I turned and was like, "What?" and took out an AirPod. He repeated himself and I said, "Oh, no thanks, I'm good." But he tried again and I was like, "Nah, I'm good," and turned around, put my AirPod in and started walking. Okay, so at this point, I knew that I messed up because I engaged with him and I shouldn't have acknowledged him. But I genuinely was thrown off so much, and in the moment, I just reacted. I'm someone who's not used to guys hitting on me or flirting. I've always been on the heavier side and was never the one the guy would want to talk to in the group of friends or really acknowledge. All of this to say, I don't have experience with handling stuff like this. Within a few steps of me continuing my walk, I heard steps behind me and he says, "Nah, girl, let me join you." And there he was, walking in step with me. The audacity. He tried to make small talk, ask where I was from, what I did for a living, etc., and I gave one-word responses. I was really hoping he would just drop it and take the hint, but again, he did not. They never will.
Nope.
They
don't
not
understand.
even know what the entry.
They don't understand what a hint is.
No. He proceeded to then talk about his job and what he did, and that made me even more repulsed and frustrated. He claimed that he was a model on OnlyFans. Honestly, did not know if I could type out the whole word, haha. Honestly, you do you, but maybe don't talk about this in the first conversation. Then spoke of how experienced he was and how men need to learn how to pleasure women.
No.
What the actual fuck? At this moment, the trail was empty and no one was around me to try and get out of the situation. I felt like I couldn't even call someone or text because he was literally right next to me. I really tried not to acknowledge what he was saying, but he just kept on talking. Then he asked me about my fantasies and what I enjoyed doing, and all I wanted to do was smack him or run or something. Instead, I laughed awkwardly and said, "Oh, I bet you have more experience than I do, haha," and hoped he would drop it. How it eventually ended was that it started raining, praise the Lord, and he said he had to get out of the rain and said we should meet up and work out sometime. Previously in the conversation, he said we went to the same gym. More on that to come.
No.
He gave me his phone to get my number, and I typed in a fake name and a fake number, and thankfully he left. I was pretty shook, and that's when I quickly became a little paranoid. He knew the car I drove because he must have seen me pull up in the parking lot and change my shoes. And then he said he goes to my gym because he's seen me there in the mornings. I am one of those people that go at 5 a.m., but that legit scared me. How can I work out knowing he's there? What if he approaches me? I know he was not stalking me because I'm coming from my parents' house over an hour away, so I think it was a coincidence that we go to the same gym, but maybe I'm delulu. What pissed me off more was that I was literally wearing baggy granny shorts and a t-shirt, nothing hot. It was obvious I was not someone who had a lot of experience, so why was he so persistent? I did not want to suddenly be aggressive because I didn't want him to flip out on me, especially since we were alone. At one point, he even did the whole, "Oh, I left something in my car, come back with me." Men are the worst. I am eager to hear what you both think. What tips do you have for situations like this? How could I have gotten out of it? Bears will forever be better. Update. Hi, ladies. So since I wrote this in, I joined Patreon. Oh, hey.
Oh, hi.
Hey. I live alone and have a pretty boring life, so being able to have podcasts or music on 24/7 is my go-to, so I had to sign up for all your bonus content. A little more about me. I'm 28, female, and my Enneagram is 8W9, and I'm a Leo. Yay, personality, haha. This week, I have been so anxious. I would not describe myself as an anxious person, but sometimes it flares up, and it's been a bad week. I think because of the interaction I previously wrote about, the walk on Sunday with the OnlyFans model, I would say I'm a pretty independent and confident person, but I think I'm realizing it's more fake than genuine. Anyway, after Sunday, I ended up not going to the gym for a few days because I was scared that this guy was going to be there. Don't worry, I still did home workouts for the 75-day challenge. I'm a pretty insecure person when it comes to my body, so having a guy approach me like he did made me feel more insecure, and I'm genuinely scared to interact with men again. Why does it seem like I'm only attracted to guys if they want sex from me? I'm only attractive to guys that if they want sex from me. I thought I could just shake it off, but this whole week I felt gross, and whenever I make eye contact with a guy, or if I'm walking past one, I'm nervous they're going to say something. Like have I mentioned before, I'm a little larger, but honestly more like a muscle mommy. I'm beginning to like my body, but I don't like men looking at it. Literally, why? I'm a part of a small company, and today it was my turn to make some sales visits, cold calling in person to different businesses. I have done this before and have been okay in the past, but today was the first day I had to do it alone. The industry I work in is very male dominated, and over 80% of our customers are businesses owned and run by men. Typically, I'm okay with this and have a good boss and team around, yes, all male, that support me if needed, depending on the day. Anyway, I had started going to the first business and I was genuinely nervous to go alone, but I knew I would have mustered up the courage. After the third one, I ended up just having a breakdown in my car and started crying. Yes, my period is about to start, but I just got in my head too much. Having to stand and interact with a guy as a saleswoman, dressed nicely, having the guy just look at me made me feel gross, and all I wanted to do was be in my oversized tee with my cat at home. I can be a boss-ass bitch, but I guess not today. I guess my question would be, how can you be confident yet not attract attention? How can I feel comfortable again? And why are men dicks? Anyway, sorry for rambling. Thanks for everything you do. I'm so glad I read this entry. Always the bear. Always the bear.
This just makes me so frustrated because it is an experience that every single woman goes through.
Yep. Every single woman.
As far as the interaction that you had on that trail, I feel like my one and only bit of advice is do not engage from the jump. Like, I know how scary it could be when someone approaches you and you feel like you need to like let them down easy.
Right.
But I promise you, the best thing you can do is literally not like offer no words.
Yep.
I would keep one ear pod out so that you're like aware of
Safe.
safe and aware of your surroundings. But like remove the opposite one so that he can't see. So he's not taking it as a, because like
opening. This
is the thing with men who do this. They will take any bit that you give them and run with it. So if you remove one AirPod, that's an in.
Like, oh, she wants to listen.
Yep. She wants me.
Yeah.
And they'll run with it.
Oh, 100%.
She wants me to engage now.
Yep.
So if you like literally head down, keep an eye on your surroundings, but do not give them any ounce. Like, I'm so sorry that this is like like leaving a lasting effect on you. Like, this is just, it's icky. So fucking icky and frustrating. And it makes me so frustrated.
Me too. It like, I felt myself getting like hot while reading this. I wish we even had more to say, but like, I think even people can sound off in the comments that we all experience this, and ultimately your safety is number one. So I don't, it's hard to say like the perfect way to handle it each time, because you're right. Sometimes you don't want to piss them off because they can get aggressive if you're just like, I don't know. It's so case by case, but I think it's all about just tapping into that intuition. I mean, the fact that you even clocked him the moment you pulled into the parking lot was amazing. And I think that is like step one of, just like Alex said, being aware of your surroundings. And I think we can kind of all learn from this story too, of like, just clock everyone who's around you everywhere you go. And as far as the gym thing, I almost like stopped reading to say this, because you just need to get a new gym, period. Yeah. I know you said, I don't think it's a stalker situation. Who cares?
Who knows though?
Exactly. And it's just not worth the fucking gamble. Go get a new gym. And I know that sucks, because like you probably love your gym, and like
why do we have to adjust our lives for the safety and like well-being of ourselves due to men's fuckery?
Yeah, because we do right now. Will it be like this forever? I hope not.
I fucking hope not.
But
if you're a man out there listening, like, please be an advocate for the women around you. And if you are on that trail and you see a fucking weirdo talking to a woman, step up.
Yep.
Approach the man and tell him to back the fuck off.
Or go to the girl and be like, hey babe, come on, let's go.
Or like, please be an advocate for women.
Yeah.
It pisses me off.
Yeah. You mentioned even some of the men you work with, like, on like a good day or whatever, they're very supportive. I feel like we should say not all men are bad. And I think we all know that. We all know at least one guy that isn't bad. And it's also about finding those men that can, that you can lean in. And it can be harder to seek out, but surrounding yourself with good men also helps you not be afraid of them. And like, I feel like I had a period of time where I was kind of like about all men, but then I leaned into like a lot of our guy friends, and I was like, okay, I don't need to be afraid of these people. I just need to know how to move around my life, like how to stay safe. And like we're saying, like, go with that gut feeling, and like be aware of your surroundings. And
that's the thing, like that's the thing with a woman's intuition. You know when a man is looking at you a certain way, the way he approaches you. You have a gut feeling when you feel safe around them, or if you feel like they're gonna be fucking icky. And like lean into that, because that's a power that we do have, and that can't be taken away. So practice that muscle.
Like, we were walking in the jewelry district here in New York
two days ago.
I knew we weren't talking to each other, but I know we were both on edge. Because like it's the jewelry district here in Manhattan. It's like all these guys just kind of stand out with like buying, buy gold, cash for gold signs and shit like that. And they're all just out there like on their phones, smoking cigarettes, like waiting for customers to come in. We're walking down the street, and like, I just feel the lasers through every fiber of my being. And it's
summer. I'm in shorts and a tank top.
You're in like tube top, like, as we should, because it's fucking hot outside and we'll get heat stroke if we're wearing any more clothes.
Right.
And like, that doesn't even matter. That shouldn't matter, at least. Like, you even said that in your entry. I was wearing a baggy.
No, they'll do it no matter what.
It honestly doesn't fucking matter. We're walking, and hey, blue jeans, that ass in those blue jeans or blue shorts or whatever, said something like that. But Alex and I literally, like, we didn't even look at each other. Girl code. We were both like,
kept going.
We just like scoffed and kept walking and don't even like,
don't engage.
Look at them.
But I did, once we got like a good 50, 60 feet away, I like looked back to make sure we weren't being followed.
Right.
Because they do.
100%.
They will follow you. Blocks.
Oh yeah.
Blocks.
I have had that here especially.
Oh yeah.
I mean, New York's fucking weird. That's why. But
yeah.
Like, and just people like, they'll just stare on the
Yes.
train. They'll just like,
oh my God.
Stare.
I got approached by a man who was an advocate for women. He approached me on a train and he goes, hey, just by the way, there's a guy across who's taking a photo of you right now. And I was wearing a tank
good
top.
guy, not the bad guy.
Yeah, shout out the good guy. And I looked up and I was like, fuck, thank you. But I was in shock. I didn't know what to do. Like, and the guy had his phone like this.
Mm-hmm. Like, so like not even trying to be sly.
No.
And that's the thing. Like, you being in shock is also so valid. And that's why like it is so case by case. Because in that moment, and you even reflecting, I'm sure all you wanted to do is bat the fucking phone on his hand, punch him in the nose. But like,
I was in such shock that I was like,
and
I can't do anything
exactly.
right now.
You just don't know what to fucking do in those moments. And I guess the approach I usually take is just making them feel uncomfortable. So like when I was recently on the train, this guy was literally just like sitting like forward on his knees.
Ew.
Like elbows on his knees, just like, and like looking like at my like arms, like tracing my arms, like
they don't even care anymore.
And I just went like this,
just stared at him.
And I not even like a emotion in my eye. I just like locked eyes with him until he was like, and kind of got uncomfortable and turned his head. And what that did, I don't know. But that was like, let me at least try and hold a fucking mirror on like how creepy you're being.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it made me at least feel like I was
get your power
up for
back.
Myself.
Yeah.
Like, let me just like make you feel as uncomfortable as I humanly can, because you're making me feel really, really uncomfortable and really fucking violated.
Yeah. Take your power back. That's a good point.
Yeah.
God, man.
I was just kind of telling Alex about the whole like the bear, choosing the bear, the man thing. And I really like that it's being talked about right now. I think it's a really cool, is that an analogy? I don't know. Right? Kind of like a metaphor. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just like
one of those words.
Yeah. And like I've seen TikToks of women asking their husbands like where they would leave the kid with a random man or a bear. And even hearing some of these men say like, I think I'd leave my kid with a fucking bear, and they're a man.
Right. They know.
They know best.
They know best what their peers are doing.
Yeah. They've been around it, and half of these men, majority of these men have been conditioned to hush hush if homeboy's being weird. We even know men that move weird, and we know that their friends don't hold them accountable.
Yeah.
That part.
Let it happen.
They literally are just like, oh, that's just
them.
That's just Bob. That's just Bill.
Weirdos.
Like, and that's the problem. That's where it starts. It just, I could spiral, and I'm not going to. But
it is one of those spirally things that I think
like,
about.
It starts with the dad. It starts with how they were raised, and like it's just such.
Well, and then I get to this place where I'm like, oh my God, I can't even walk around this city comfortably. Mm-hmm. I mean, we don't walk around at night. We limit our lives in a way that we just abide by fucking men. Mm-hmm. And I'm not living my life because a man might approach me.
Yeah. It's once that like safety part comes in, you kind of don't have a choice. Unless I carry a fucking knife.
We're having to choose between safety or wearing a tank top.
Exactly.
And of course I'm going to choose safety. Yeah, of course.
That's human.
But like, I can't wear a tank top. I'm
really sweaty.
I can't wear a tank top without a man taking a photo of me on a train.
Exactly. Oh, disgusting.
Oh, I could cry. It's fucking sick.
I don't want to bring fucking daughter into this. And then social media is a whole other thing. Like, I think about if I had a teen right now, like my sister has an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
And if I had an 11-year-old little girl right now, generally all of her friends are getting phones. They're starting to get their social media if they fucking don't already have it already at 11. I don't even know. And then that's a whole other layer of like predatory creatures behind a keyboard. Yeah. Behind an Elias. Like
that's free reign.
And that's terrifying. Yeah. And it's only going to get, tech is only going to get more and more integrated into our fucking human race. And like thinking about bringing a kid into that really scares me.
I do get that, like that thought and that fear, but this idea only makes me even more want to have kids so I can raise a son to respect women.
Yeah. That is where it starts.
And if that's all we could do is raise sons to respect women, then maybe that will get the ball rolling to have a generation of men out there who won't be fucking creeps. Weird.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Like, if you're going to have the kid, at least do that shirt. But, like, there's also another side of the population that is like, no, men need to be like, brr, 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 brr. And, like, there's also women that don't think like how we're thinking. As much as we say this is a shared experience with women, a lot of women also don't think this is a problem.
They're
like, what? It's a man. I was wearing a tank top. Like, he's looking at my rack. Like,
I asked for it.
Yeah. And that is like fully their reality, and they are okay with that. I don't know if this is pessimistic, but I think it will always exist.
Of course. Yeah. And it's definitely like very unrealistic of me to think that there is a world without
where we wipe out those people.
Yeah.
Nah. They're far more aggressive. And in some ways, does aggression always win? Kinda. Maybe that's Aries of me.
It makes my skin itch.
Yeah, like you're in the woods. You come to a fork in the road. You're alone. It's like the sun's about to go down, right?
You see running back to my car.
A solo camper man, or you see a bear.
I mean,
with like cubs just sitting there, like looking around.
Well,
like,
yeah, you never approach a mama bear with cubs because they're protecting.
But I would rather die that way.
Yeah.
It's not about even staying alive at that point. I would rather the bear take me out of my misery than the guy playing fucking games, to say the least. Like,
I don't know. That's a tough one.
I don't know.
I'm not trying to die, so I'm running away.
I mean, yeah, I get that too. But the guy will fucking chase you. Hey,
is it known he's a bad guy?
No, he's just a guy. Like, when people ask this, it's just like no details. It's just a guy that you do not know. That is the detail. So that's pretty much what this is. Yeah. It's like, where does your head go when
I think I'm hopeful for men. I think I have hope that I could approach the man and be like, yo, there's a family of bears. Can I kick it with you for a minute?
What if it's just one bear? Take out the family.
Yo, there's a bear over there. Can I chill with you for a minute?
You're right about the mama bear thing.
I don't know. I do. I have hope for men. I'm lucky to be surrounded by men who I do feel safe with. So I think I have I want to see the good in men, even though I've been faced time and time again with fucking creeps. But I like in that fork in the road situation. I do this a lot too. I notice when I walk onto a train, I look for my safe haven. Like
I go to a woman.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, especially nowadays with like human trafficking, they use middle-aged women to lure.
Well, I go to someone who looks like me. Like I go to like a 20-year-old girl.
But
well, I'm not 20, but you know what I mean by that.
I look for the safe man who is able to jump into a situation and be my advocate if I need it. That's just what I do.
This just goes to show, like, and I'm sure so many people listening relate to that, and like, it just goes to show your perspective of men, and I like that. I actually would never do that.
No,
I always, even before you get on the train, when you're standing waiting for the train, I go stand next to a girl with like her AirPod Max on and her phone charm and her like sambas. Like, I go stand next to somebody who at least like we'll go down together.
Yeah. Like, if I had to just make a black and white statement, I don't feel comfortable around men to the point where even like, I don't know if this is like, it's not bad to say, but I guess I'm really just going to say something vulnerable right now. Like, even like family barbecues and shit, like I cover my body. Like that's why I'm like, is it pessimistic of me? I don't know. But like, I don't think it's pessimistic. I don't even trust a man I don't know a little bit. It's like something they have to gain. It's something they have to show. I have to see how they treat, their peers, how they hold their peers accountable, how they treat their sister, if they have a sister, how they treat their mom, how they treat me. Like, right. I have to see that before I just like assume that they might be good. I get that. Yeah. Like I feel so like violated. Yeah. Ooh, that just put like a little bubble in my throat. So valid. It's so valid. Icky. Like, now that I think about it, like I shouldn't have to feel like I need to cover up at a family event, but that's. Yeah. I mean, is that like we don't have to talk about it. I mean, we already did. Yeah. Yeah, I wish
You also have context.
Yeah, I wish you didn't feel like that.
Yeah.
That's an icky feeling.
For sure. But I don't feel like that at other people's families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like do you feel that like coming to my house?
No.
Okay.
I'll wear my fucking tube top and I'll wear that same outfit at your family barbecue. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think I obviously know I have a lot of internalized just like
feelings about, yeah.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? This just is like the epitome of, even Oddvice, like that is one of those moments where like we did just grow up different.
Yeah.
But like, I like that about this conversation. Like all the time, there's always people that are going to like, and there's obviously infinite possibilities, but amongst the two of us in this conversation right now, like there's always going to be someone that's like, oh no, I totally see what Alex is saying. And yeah, like you only know safe men.
Yeah.
And that is so like amazing. And that puts a, like a standard, and I don't need to tell you this, you fucking know this, but like just thinking out loud because it's so cool, that puts such like a standard in the fiber of your being.
Yep.
In your DNA. It is the only way you will accept treatment from a man, is because that is all you know.
Yeah. And from I've
from
always
day one.
Yeah.
Day one. Because your dad is a good ass fucking dad.
Yeah.
And like that's why we need good dads.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna cry.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And like I love to see it. I love to see it. And it's very, very obvious what that does to you as now a grown woman, and even your brother as a grown man. I know him pretty well.
Yeah.
And he's a fucking rock star. Like he's such a good guy. And he's one of those guys that like,
oh, why am I getting so emotional?
because it's so cool.
Yeah.
Because it's so important, and because it's rare and it's special, and like
it's making me realize that it makes me sad that people, like, not everyone. Yeah.
Because you have a fucking heart, but like that kind of pushes it even more as to like how you will only have children with a man who is going to do that to your son or daughter or both. Or like, that's what I'm saying, is like, that's where it starts, is because as much as I know that, and like, this isn't a put down moment. There's no ego in this. It's just, again, we're just talking about our thing. Maybe I was just telling myself that, so I feel better about myself. As much as I know that I also want that for my future family and my future kids and my future lover.
Yeah.
As much as I know that, I tend to subconsciously, and you fucking know this, Alex, to fall into men who don't necessarily display that, because like I said, it's all you know.
Yeah.
And as much as I know it as an adult, it's not engraved. That's the word I'm looking for. It's not engraved in me. And like, we'll get there. I'm not worried about it, but like, that's what's so cool about it, is yes, there are learned behaviors that you can learn like later in life, but like, it makes it so much easier to apply if it's instilled in you as a child.
Right. And when it is all you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because then it's like we were kind of talking about that on Patreon, like then it's just the perspective of your universe.
Right.
And anything else that isn't aligned with that isn't kind
it's
of like
not my reality.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's why it is my reality to walk on the train and like clock the safe man.
Yep. Which is so cool. Like maybe you can even argue, if we like really dissected it, your gate, 100%, now that I'm even thinking out loud, your gauge for that safe man is probably exponentially better. Or better is ego-y. Accurate maybe is a better word. You know, like I'm sure if we did one of those psych tests, where it's like who's the safe man, I'd be like the one with the one with the neck tattoo. Face tab, and you're immediately like, no. Whereas like the one you would go to, maybe I would think that's the scariest one, because they like had a calm look on their face. Because calm to me is foreign in a man. Like safe to me is a look that I don't, obviously I know it, I'm not a fucking idiot, but like it's not instilled in me. So I would look at that picture and that psych eval and be like, oh, that's unfamiliar. Yeah. That's the word I'm like they're unfamiliar, therefore they are dangerous. That is so cool.
Yeah, this is stressing me out a little bit.
Not like talking about it.
Not like a bad way. It's just like, I've never thought about this.
Yeah. I think this is a great conversation to have.
Yeah. Totally.
I think this is like, so I totally love agree. That we're talking about this. Like, I just think it's a perspective that, you know, whether you relate to Alex or relate to me, it kind of not only, how do I say this? Like it shows, I don't know. My mind is going a million miles per hour.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
That's what I mean by stressing me out. Like it.
Oh, I like it when my brain feels like this. Like I feel like I could write an essay.
God.
An essay about this? No, I wouldn't do that. fuck no. But yeah, that's
Wow.
that. And that is why I choose the bear. And that is why
I might choose the man.
Depending.
Yeah.
But, like,
I'm not on that. Like when you brought this up to me, I haven't seen any of these TikToks. So I'm excited to see if, send me some. And I'm excited to see if they pop up on my For You page. And if for some reason, the algorithm catches on that, like, because I had me thinking like maybe this isn't on my For You page because and I was going to say this earlier, but I didn't want it to sound like a type of way, but like I don't get toxic men on my feed.
Yeah.
My feed is like women showing their green flags and their guys. And like, that's just like the side of TikTok I'm on. So maybe that's why I don't have that on my feed, but I'm excited to see if this whole bear over man situation does come up on my For You page. Is it going to be the side that does choose the man?
Right.
Interesting.
And you got to send me those.
I will.
That's very interesting. But I'm so glad we talked about this.
Wow.
Okay, should we do another entry?
Totally.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay, guys, next one. Hi, ladies. I hope you both are having a lovely day and enjoying your bevs. Oh, thanks.
I have only water today.
Yeah, and we sat down. We were like, we don't really have bev. Like, I have my leftover coffee from 4 hours ago. Look at this thing.
Like shit.
And there's like 7 link hairs in it. Look at all the link hairs.
So much link hair.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, no, I have room temp water today.
I wish I had bev.
And it's a Monday episode. That was wrong.
We're slacking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe we can like bulk order some stuff. I don't know.
Or maybe someone might want to sponsor us.
Yeah, we do need a drink sponsor.
Oh, give Link a treat for me, please. Oh, she heard that word. We will later. I'm currently writing this at 2 a.m. listening to Gracie Abrams' new album. It's so good. Please give it a listen.
I didn't know they dropped something.
I don't know who that is.
You would know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm in desperate need of advice, but I have to give you ladies your flowers first. Oh.
Is that a little bouquet?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
I have been listening since day one, and I'm so proud to see the way y'all's gorgeous and authentic selves have created such a beautiful space and for it to continue to grow. Seriously, thank you for what you do. You don't know how much it means to me. Kristen, girl, I had your I Feel Weird merch and wore it religiously. I grew up with you, and I just want to say that you're doing amazing, and I'm so proud of you. Alex, you seriously feel like the big sister I always dreamed of. So thank you, Kristen, for sharing Alex with us. Oh,
here's Alex.
Also, I live in NYC, and I'm hoping to run into y'all one day.
Hey.
Aw, if you ever see us, please
like
approach.
announce yourself.
Yeah, free to approach. Free to approach the bench. Right? Free? No,
but like
able to approach. What's the phrase? Approach the bench.
it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't. All right, so I think I want to break up with my girlfriend, but first, here's our quick backstory. I'm a 19-year-old girl. She's a 20-year-old girl. I have a history of terrible commitment issues. I have never been in a true relationship until her. We met on Tinder and started as friends with benefits. She fell first, and the start of our romance was a whole damn book of the secret growing feelings leading to an outburst of love. We have been together for a year and 3 months now. She is truly such a beautiful, kind, loving human, and she deserves the world. It was my first relationship, so a lot of trauma and issues were popping up for me in the beginning, so I definitely put that girl through some shit, and she stuck with me and loved me through it, and I am forever grateful. You guys, she is seriously the most perfect girlfriend in the world, and I don't know how I got so lucky. For my first relationship, the bar is now impossibly high because she treats me so well in every way. So why would I break up with her, you ask? I know, I ask myself the same thing every day, and it's the only thing keeping me in the relationship. But the answer is that for our entire relationship, I have had a feeling in my gut, not my chest, my gut. I always chalked it up to my commitment issues, but seeing as it's been over a year and I haven't gone more than 3 weeks at a time without feeling it, I think it's time. I feel trapped and suffocated, but the hardest thing is that I still love her. And the gut feeling isn't always there. It goes away for time periods, and I just think, you're so silly. See, you love her. But without a doubt, 2 weeks later, the gut feeling of I need to leave comes back. I grew up a very independent person, and for the first half of our relationship, we were definitely codependent. I studied abroad last semester, so I gained more independence, but I think I need more. I think I just need to be alone again. You now see how I feel standing on my feet after 15 months of being in a relationship. I'm not sure I know who I am without her anymore. Also, my parents are college sweethearts and met the exact same time my girlfriend and I did. When I tried to ask my mom about my situation, she said you don't have to be alone to be independent. You can be independent in a relationship, so maybe I'm just doing it wrong. I just can't get the feeling to go away, and I know you're all thinking you have your answer, just break up, but it's really not that simple. I love her, and we have planned our whole life together. I'm scared of making a mistake and her not taking me back. I'm scared that she's the best I'll ever have and that I just end up alone for the rest of my life. I really do want to marry her one day and settle down, but I don't want to sacrifice all of my youth for her. I'm mostly scared that I will wake up in 10 years with a ring on my finger, the same gut feeling in my 20s wasted. I'm scared of divorcing at 30, and it's not at all old, but my college years would be completely gone. In a perfect world, I get a few years of actually living, then I can settle with her. But I can't expect that or ask her of that. It's selfish and cruel. And because my gut is a bitch, while she's clawing to be free, she also knows that this girl is my soulmate. But I don't think it's just me who feels that way. I notice she feels it. We have grown apart. The love has changed, maybe lowered. I think that covers most of the backstory, so here's what I need advice on. Is it my commitment issues and I just need more therapy? How the fuck do you break up with someone? Seriously, I've never done it, especially if I still want her in my life. Am I an asshole for planning to break up in late July? We have a lot planned and our birthday's coming up. I don't want to ruin the whole summer and maybe give it some more time. Who knows? Maybe I'll wake up and find this email I wrote stupid. Thank you so much. Girls, I really appreciate it. I need some big sis advice. Take care and reach out if you need a friend in NYC. With love, Nat. Oh, also, I've never emotionally cheated or physically, but there have been people where I've thought, I wish I met you when I was single. Be for real. Is that totally fucked up?
I don't think that last part's fucked up.
No.
I think it's just like human.
That's
You're like attracted. Like
yeah, and on top of it, of you already having the feelings that you want to be out of the relationship, I feel like you have that. Yeah, you have that like lens on everything right now. A few things. This is really hard because I could like at the beginning of this, I could have easily just said like, oh, you already know, like you said, you already know, break up. But I think in general, you're just getting ahead of yourself. For you to, I mean, it's one thing to like know someone is your soulmate, but for you to like on one hand say you want to be married, you want to spend the rest of your life with this person and so forth. Like these are all very long-term feelings that you're saying that you're having, but I think your gut feeling is kind of pulling you back into the moment. And if you were to like drop your whole vision of what you see the rest of your life looking at, maybe you can like go into this or like be in this relationship just in the moment without having to think about where it's going to lead. Because maybe like that is the side of your commitment issues coming out. I don't know. Is that making sense? Like,
yeah, so I was thinking too, you're thinking such long term right now that it's scaring you, which that's way too much to think about in the moment.
Yeah,
you're way too much to think about in the moment.
You, both of you are still so young. If you just sit here and enjoy the relationship that you guys had or currently have, you might be able to appreciate all the wonderful things about this person that you said that she has instead of like dwelling on the future, because I think it's the future that's scaring you. It's not what you currently have.
Yes. Definitely not. Yeah, you're even saying like how happy you are right now.
Right.
I think your mom's right too about like find your independence within the relationship.
Totally.
I think especially you saying like, okay, so you grew up independent, then the beginning of the relationship was codependent. You're kind of doing this like overcorrection mentality. You're kind of having this overcorrection mentality right now of like, okay, no, I need to go back to the extreme and be independent again. I think once you kind of like maybe let go of the wheel and let the car kind of even itself out, you might just find exactly where you want to be, which is like, you know, it's human to be thinking about the future, but not letting it rule your like present moment right now, I guess is kind of what I'm trying to say.
I'm very curious to see what would happen if you like let the relationship just be what it is right now.
Maybe let that be what you do this July.
Yeah.
If you like, because I do get you on like maybe a logistic side of things, like with the birthday and all of that. Like that is kind of sicky. I get that.
But like to drag it on when you, maybe this is just a conversation and sorry, wheels are turning. The fact that you are seeing that this might be something that's also going on in her head. What if you guys had a conversation about it? Like that could
It doesn't have to be a breakup combo. It just literally, where are you at emotionally?
Yeah.
That could be what's buzzing in you too, is just knowing that your counterpart is feeling something extreme, but you guys aren't communicating it.
Yeah.
Like you could be picking up on that. Like, yeah, I think you should just sit down and like, hey, literally just talk about it.
What are your thoughts on everything that like we're going through right now, and put everything that you're thinking on the table. Just let her know. Like, sometimes I have these feelings of wanting my independence back, or I feel like we've become too codependent on each other. Like, is there a way that we can kind of meet in the middle so that we can continue the love that we clearly have for each other, but in a healthy way where you guys communicate and you're not too stressed about the future, and you get to, like, you're still so young. This should be, and it's your first love. It should be such a fun, lighthearted love that you're experiencing right now. And it's putting a lot of stress on the relationship itself when you're dwelling on the future.
Yeah, I think it could also be, we talked about this before, like when you have commitment issues, or, you know, you're somebody who's afraid of being too dependent on someone, when you have a good thing in front of you, you self-sabotage it.
Yeah.
So that was also another possibility you said. You're like, or do I just need more therapy? I mean, obviously therapy is always an answer, or a tool, maybe not an answer, but it's a tool. And maybe explore what your attachment style is and see if maybe that could be like, I guess, like a symptom of what you're feeling to make it clinical. But like, I feel like that could be it too. Maybe you're like so scared that it's so good that you might be sabotaging it.
Yeah.
You have a lot to think about.
This is one of those very rare cases. Like, I feel like we've only said this probably 3 times tops, where I don't think you should jump to break up right away.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't pass up those cards often.
No, we don't.
We don't. But this one, I agree.
This one's for you.
I don't think it's time to just throw it away.
No.
Okay, next entry. How do I make my mom my best friend again? Hi, Kristen and Alex. It's me again. I love you guys, and to meet y'all in Leaky is on my bucket list.
Oh,
my bucket list. Anyway, my parents have been divorced since I was about 3 or 4 years old, and there's always been a lot of back and forth in my childhood. When my older brother and I were living with my mom, we'd go from motel to motel, my grandma's house, so many different men's houses, until finally I think she gave us up and we moved in with my dad. I would occasionally see her, but growing up, I've realized she always put men before her kids. She was always worried about finding a man to depend on to get her life together, and to this day, I'm 19, she still doesn't have it together. Our relationship is hella weird now that I'm older. When I do go visit her, she always feels like a stranger. Even though I was close to her as a kid, a couple years ago when we rekindled and had a deep talk, everything was good, except, of course, not everything went back to normal. Fast forward, when I graduated high school, they only allowed us 6 tickets. My step family is my ride or die forever. My stepmom is more of a mother to me than my biological. I call her mom, and it's gotten hard to call my biological mom. My biological mother has not supported me through anything in high school, never went to my track meets, award ceremonies, like we barely talked. My step family is my family, so of course I only gave them tickets. We have a family of 7 in my household with my step family, so it was a perfect amount of tickets. My biological mom got pressed as fuck about it and we haven't talked since. I graduated a year ago. It's like a petty best friend situation, and I hate it. Every time I missed her or wanted to feel loved by my own mother again, I would be the only one who texted or called to rekindle. Sorry, this was long, but what am I supposed to do to have my mother in my life? Am I supposed to be the bigger one who always texts and calls first to make things right again? P.S. Another thing, my birthday was in January, and 2 days after mine is my brother's, and she didn't tell me happy birthday, but she texted my brother on his. Oh, this like made me choke up. I'm so sorry. This is a feeling that no child should ever have to feel, no matter the age, 19 or not. And hearing that this is kind of the rocky relationship dynamic you've had with her since you can remember, my heart breaks for you, and I'm so sorry. And you're right. Like I don't think you should always have to be the one to be reaching out and all this. But your heart is tender because you're yearning for mom. Like, it's your biological mom. Of course you want to try your hardest to have a relationship. I'm not going to say like, don't stop trying, fuck that bitch. But I will say it's, can I be blunt? But maybe I'm projecting. It's probably not going to change. Again, take everything with a grain of salt that I'm saying. I don't know the whole situation. I don't know her individually like you do. But if she's still kind of living this way, it seems like this might just be where she's at in her life. You know, she's doing life for the first time too, and she clearly has a lot to figure out. I think you were clearly blessed with this step family, and I'm glad to hear how much you lean into them and love and cherish them. And I would continue to do that. I think finding a boundary with still trying to reach out to your mom, but not letting it exhaust you is kind of what I would do in the situation right now. Like it's only human to want to keep trying, but I can only imagine the toll it's having on you to like keep getting shut down too. And that hurts. And I want you to still protect yourself. And, yeah, I'm trying to say that as gentle as possible, but like, I don't know, like, I feel like I could maybe even relate to that with like my dad. Like you guys pretty much know this. Like I have growing up, literally no relationship with my biological father, like at all. Maybe a letter once every 5 years, if that, not even a call on my birthday till this day. He still doesn't know my birthday. But in my adult years, you said you're 19 right now. I don't mean to pull the age card, but like stay with me here. Maybe in a few years, because with me, when I hit like 26, 27, I felt like I was at the point I had my support system. I had my stepdad who, I mean, I don't technically call him dad, but that is my dad. And like the same way you feel like that with your step family. And once I felt secure and like, and comfortable with what is my relationship with the people who actually raised me, then I felt confident and safe enough to finally, I wrote my dad a letter. We kind of opened up a sliver of relationship, and now like we have a phone call every like 3 months, and like we text pictures here and there, and like that's enough for me. And that's what that boundary looked like for me, because it was really hard growing up. I would cry in bed every night when I was little. Like it was super like sad to not have this biological side of me, even though I didn't even know who the fuck he was. It's so like instinctual, like we're like bears, right? Like where you're yearning for that other half of you. And I feel like once I kind of allowed myself to heal from that wound, then I was able to approach it with like an adult perspective. And I felt safe to reopen up a relationship that didn't exhaust me. Like I didn't go into it being like, you're going to be my dad again. No, you're just going to be this like friend or person, whatever you want to call it, that's in my life that we have some things in common. But that's my boundary. So I just encourage you to find what would be comfortable for you.
Yeah, I almost like don't want you to be hung up on the obligation to reconnect this like mother-daughter relationship and bond. Like kind of like Kristen said, like having her in your life in some form, in whatever healthy way you see fits for your life, I feel like would be the best scenario here, especially with the potential that she might not put in the same, clearly might not put in the same effort that you're putting into the relationship. So like Kristen said, finding that boundary and like kind of releasing that obligation for you
expectation
too. Yeah, the expectation and the obligation that you might feel to put in all the work for the two of you. Like if she's not going to match your energy with like rebonding this relationship with you, then find whatever boundary works for whatever healthy relationship that you guys can have.
Broken families are fucking tricky because it like goes against all biological instinct that we have, but like they are possible, and they can still be healthy, and they can still be good.
Yeah.
It just takes a little bit more work. I feel you. And I think a lot of people listening feel you too.
Okay, here's the next one. Hi, girlies. I've been waiting for years to write in, but I've never had the courage to until now.
Years.
Welcome.
Thank God.
I'm so glad you wrote in. I've been listening to Kristen since I was a freshman in high school. I'm 21 now. I don't want any drama.
God, that is so long.
An adult.
Jesus Christ. Hello.
Hi. I don't want any drama or anything to come out of writing in. I just want to share my perspective on things I've learned about roommates and adult friendships. Now, anyway, let's get to the messy part. My name is Emily, and my best friend's name is, my BF name is Skylar. So that could either be boyfriend or best friend.
Best friend.
We'll find out. We used to live with our 2 roommates who are also dating. Okay, so boyfriend's name is Skylar.
Okay.
We used to live with our 2 roommates who are also dating. Let's name them Drake and Kayla. Sorry. Now, some backstory. Drake and Kayla have been together for about 3 years now. Drake used to be in the Marines, but never made it past boot camp. That's a whole other story, though. He has some severe trauma and things, but likes to use it to be a victim at times. Kayla has been to juvie for running over her ex-boyfriend with her car and such.
Just juvie for that?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's attempted murder.
Yeah, but I guess isn't juvie for underage
Babies? Yeah.
little toddlers? I ran over.
I drive car.
I think it's only funny to us.
Oh, God. This is all backstory to explain them a little better. I know what you're probably thinking. Why did we ever move in with these people?
Yes.
And trust me, I ask myself that question daily. About a year ago, me and my boyfriend moved in with them into a very nice 2-bedroom apartment. Fast forward a year before that, my boyfriend had lived with Drake in another apartment with another roommate and Kayla. At this apartment, Kayla and Drake fought a lot. Kayla at one point even thought that one of her own sweaters was another girl's, and they ended up getting into a physical altercation, and she punched him in the face. Okay, Kayla sounds scary.
Jesus.
There was another time when Kayla got caught cheating. Drake went to Kayla's ex-boyfriend's house and beat up her ex-boyfriend. Came back to the apartment with blood all over him.
Oh.
Jesus. This is just to show you guys how toxic that relationship was.
No, we got it.
Me and my boyfriend's relationship is very not toxic. We go to church a lot of times. We spend a lot of time together, and we are also Christians and are waiting until marriage. We have a lot of things that we've put in place in our relationship to make our relationship stronger. And we've had our arguments, but we've never, ever, ever even thought to harm each other in any way. Okay, sorry, this is such a long story. But anyway, fast forward to when we're living with them in the 2-bedroom apartment. So about 4 months ago, Kayla came up to me and showed me the shirt that she found in her closet. It was a very small, extra small, light blue tank top. I don't wear anything outside of the color black, to be honest, and I'm definitely not an extra, extra small. She tried on the shirt. I tried on the shirt. It didn't fit either of us. She told me that she thought that Drake was cheating on her. In the past, I wouldn't have believed her. However, she showed me pictures of this one girl that Drake had been talking to at a bar, who was a bottle service girl. The shirt looked like it would be this girl's shirt. No, I didn't want to assume anything, place any blame, but I told Kayla that she needed to have a conversation with Drake. It then led to Kayla going through Drake's old phone that I guess he had supposedly. As she's scrolling through his phone, she went through his recently deleted, his camera roll, to find that he was paying for a girl's OnlyFans for the past 3 months. Payment after payment, hundreds of dollars. She was absolutely devastated, and the thing that was even more crazy is that I was sitting next to her and I didn't want to be involved, so I went out on the couch because I told her I didn't want to see this, as this was my boyfriend's friend of 7 years. It felt like a violation, so I sat on the couch as she went through his phone to find all of these terrible things. She begins crying, her eyes out, falling to the ground, saying how she can't believe that he would do this and all of these things. Now, fast forward a little bit back, they had been telling us about how they have not been sleeping together and have been having intimacy issues. The whole time that Kayla and Drake have been together, they've always made comments about our relationship. Kayla would say things to Drake like, how come we don't go and do that? How come you don't kiss me like that? Me and Skylar are very affectionate people. He also knows how to treat me, out on dates, buys me flowers, and actually treats me like a woman. Kayla and Drake have never experienced that, and honestly, it makes me very sad. This is why Drake decided to find a girl's OnlyFans, because he hadn't had that intimacy with Kayla. Do I think it's okay? Absolutely not. It just made more sense as to why he did that. And then Kayla began going through their room, finding sex toys and things that she didn't know he had. It even went as far to find a box of his ex-girlfriend's bras.
Oh my God.
Ugh. I was absolutely astonished at the things she was finding and how she never found them before. I sat there shaking my head, not knowing what to do, so I texted my boyfriend that shit was going to go down. Drake was going to be home in an hour. So Kayla called her mom crying as I decided to pack a bag for her to help her. I sat on the ground with her and literally held her as she was in tears, helping her pack her most valuable items. I went into my room as soon as Drake got home. I don't know what words were exchanged, but I know that Kayla left for 3 days. When Kayla left, it was like Drake was absolutely switched. He told us how he doesn't need her anymore. He doesn't love her. He's not attracted to her. He's been waiting for a way out of this relationship. All of these things affirming that the relationship was over. But as soon as Kayla came back, they talked through all of their things and got back together for about the third time of them going through some sort of abusive or terrible situation. About a week goes by and Kayla and Drake do not speak to us. I mean, they full on ignore us when we would walk into the room. I have no explanation as to why they did this other than they were embarrassed. I told my boyfriend that we needed to have a conversation with them and we didn't want to be involved in the relationship anymore. We still wanted to be roommates with them. Then one Sunday, we sat down with them and began to have a conversation. I looked over to Drake and he had his head buried in his hands and refused to make eye contact with either of us. Kayla began speaking as she normally does and said how she doesn't want us to be involved in their relationship anymore, even though they got us involved every single time. And then she drops the bomb. Well, we weren't going to say anything, but we've been thinking about moving out since February, and I think we need to go get our own apartment so we can work on a relationship. When I tell you, my heart sank. One, for the fact that we've been thinking about this for the past 6 months and haven't said a word to either me or my boyfriend. We are also in a lease agreement with these people. Kayla has never paid rent at this apartment. Oh my God. And I felt like a total stab in the back. Then my boyfriend begins talking, saying why didn't they tell us this back in February? And Kayla spoke up saying that they were trying to work on the relationship while we were here, but our relationship is just too good for them, is exactly the word she said. Drake never looked us in the eyes, could never look at my boyfriend. It was like he had lost finally, broke down to where he was isolated alone. I stood up very calmly, looked to both of them and said, I have nothing to say to you. I walk into my bedroom and sobbed on the bedroom floor because I just felt completely betrayed by these people. However, we probably should have never moved in with them. They never showed any signs of this happening up until 3 months ago. Another week goes by and they try to talk to us this time. I would come home from work and Drake would say hello to me. I would completely ignore him and not even look him in the eyes, didn't owe them anything. I had done so much for both Kayla and Drake over the years, buying them gifts, praying over them, doing so many things that I know to do as a Christian and to be a good friend. I felt utterly betrayed and I did not have it in my heart to forgive them at the moment. Me and my boyfriend went and got in and out one night and came back to the apartment. When we walked in, they were having people over that definitely were under the age of 21. Ooh. They were all drinking. No. We made eye contact with them and went into our bedroom so that way they knew that we were home. About 30 minutes go by. We finish eating our food and I begin hearing Kayla talk very loudly. I press my ear up to the door to hear what ultimately led for us to escape out of our bedroom window. Kayla began to speak and said I could totally beat Emily's ass. Oh my God. I could take her in a fight. All of these very aggressive words, which obviously are not true because she's 5'2", 100 pounds. But anyway, Drake was not backing us up and was not telling her to not say those things and was saying all these things to complete strangers / kids who have no idea who we are. Everyone was laughing and then Kayla began to speak how the next time she cut my hair, because she's a hairdresser, that she would cut it uneven in the back and she would put dye in my shampoo or conditioner or she would bleach it until it could never be colored again.
Good thing you overheard this.
Yeah, this is fucking insane. I didn't understand why she would ever say those things to me. I've never had a bad relationship with her and I have done so many nice things for her. It hurt my stomach once again and I felt the most rage I've ever felt in my entire life. I began immediately sobbing quietly to myself because I didn't want them to hear. I pulled my boyfriend over to the door as he listened as they began talking about our decision to wait until marriage, and that was stupid and we were just doing it to rub it in their face. was never true before I met Kayla or Drake. I was absolutely devastated. My boyfriend was shaking in anger, and his best friend of 7 years was not defending him whatsoever over me. My boyfriend's family had taken in Drake at one point after he got out of the military, giving him a place to live and food to eat. It was like a complete and total stab in the back. I've decided it was time for my boyfriend to move out 3 months before we had to. I grabbed a suitcase, began packing all of my things. We lived on the ground floor, and there was a window right across from where my car was parked. We popped out the screen, turned up the TV so they wouldn't hear, and locked the doors. The last thing I heard before we left, Kayla had to contain her laughter when I left the conversation off the couch to go cry because she thought it was absolutely hilarious, and that was my final straw.
What a monster.
We escaped through the window and drove to my boyfriend's parents' house, 10 minutes down the road. The next day, we came back with all of our friends and family. We opened the door and began packing our entire room within 3 hours. Kayla and Drake didn't come home until about an hour in of us moving out, and the faces that they were making were absolutely awesome. They were so shocked that we moved out the very next day. They never even so much as looked at us or said a word to us as we were leaving. Drake sent a final text to my boyfriend saying, "Hey brother, I think we need to talk. I don't know why you guys are making such a rash decision." To which my boyfriend replied, "We heard every single word you said last night. Our 7 years of friendship are over. Do not ever contact me or my girlfriend ever again. I know this is a long story. I'm very sorry, but I very much hope that you read it on your podcast. I've been waiting so very long for somebody to finally hear the truth about the story after things happened. Our friendship group completely split in half." Drake went on to tell people that we just broke the lease and left, which was absolutely untrue. My boyfriend paid the rest of the rent through the leasing office. They are in such a toxic relationship. They don't know how to be by themselves, and I truly feel sorry for them. I hope that they can figure out their things, whether together or not. However, me and my boyfriend have never been better. After we moved out, things that I've learned is that some people don't know how to move on after high school. Some people don't know how to get out of toxic relationships, even when their friends tell them to leave. Some people never change, and I'm not going to sit back and hinder my growth while someone else wants to sit there in their own misery. I really hope you read this. Thank you for giving me an outlet to finally say the things I've been wanting to say for the past 2 months. You both have helped me through some of the darkest times in my life, from me just listening to you guys on the TV while my life was falling apart, so it felt like I had friends. I've grown so much, and I can't thank you ladies enough. XOXO.
Golly.
That took me through a whirlwind. Holy shit.
I'm so, you guys handled it perfectly.
At the end of the day, I'm just glad you're out of there.
You got the fuck out. You kept it clean. Payments to the leasing office. You guys handled that really well. And I hope you both, you and Skylar, are very proud of yourselves. You should be. I hope your living situation now, or is this kind of recent, right?
2 months ago.
2 months. Okay. So I hope you guys got your place now, or you're about to get your place, and I wish the absolute best for you.
Holy shit. It's just a blessing that this person is no longer in your life, clearly.
And that you overheard all that. As much as I know it hurt, and I am sorry, and to Skylar too, to have to hear your friend of 7 years talking that type of shit. But that's one of those things where
that's what you needed to hear for you to make the move for them to not be your friends anymore.
Because you would have kept giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
That sucks. And hearing the part where you were you're so upset because you were praying over them and all that. I don't want you to feel dumb or anything for praying over someone with good intention, regardless of how shitty of a person they are. That just goes to show the kindness in your heart. And I think you should still practice that. Don't let that burn you and think nobody's deserving of your positive thoughts or your prayers. They just weren't equipped to receive it, and that's why they're out of your life now. So that was heavy, and I hope they fucking figure it out. That's actually so scary.
She's living a very, very scary life.
Both of them. Drake too.
The fact
that they get the help they need.
Yeah.
In all
individually
ways.
Right.
Okay, this is going to be the last entry. The subject line says, "Sister struggles." Oh my God. Hey guys.
Hey.
Hello. Can't believe I'm finally writing in my first entry. Hallelujah.
Welcome.
Welcome. I have been listening to you guys since I was a senior in high school, and now I'm a senior in college. That's crazy. My name is Brooke with no E. No need to keep anonymous. Anyway, I'll jump right into it. Me, 21, and my little sister, Anna, 16, have been having sister problems. Backstory, I pretty much had to raise my sister growing up due to an abusive step-parent and alcoholic mother. I'm sorry, that's crazy. I moved out of both of our parents' house at 18 because I couldn't handle the living situation. A part of me always felt guilt because I was leaving her behind. Well, since I moved away, my sister has been acting out for a while. She's rude to me, my parents, and anyone else who tells her no. She has a shopping addiction and has developed a drinking problem due to my mom allowing her to have alcohol at a young age.
Oh my God.
I have had to snitch on her a couple of times to my dad because I'm just genuinely concerned for her health. She has ADHD and we think BPD. Anyway, whenever she gets caught with something, she automatically thinks it's my fault and takes it out on me. I miss my old sister who used to be sweet. All she cares about are boys and gossip, and I know it's just her age, but her very hateful words are starting to sound like my narcissistic mother, who I no longer have a relationship due to the alcoholism. I try to be there for her like I used to, but whenever she gets upset, she just says, I've failed her as a sister and she can never trust me and I hate you. Oh, no. I try so hard to not take it to heart, but I always do. I want to have a relationship with my sister. I love her so much, and when all she does is talk shit about me to my mom and her new stepsisters, I don't even see a point in trying anymore. It doesn't help when my crazy mother is always posting her stupid opinions on Facebook and sends pity me text messages. I know this is long, but I guess I would just want advice on how to deal with her. I've barely scratched the surface on all the drama, but it felt good to get this off my chest. I love you both so much, and thanks for being the older sisters I always wanted. I can't tell you how many times the topic of the podcast would be exactly what I'm going through at the moment. P.S. I'm an artist, and if you enjoy printmaking, check me out at art.bybrooke. Again, that's Brooke with no E. Lots and lots of love, Brooke. You mentioned we usually talk about shit when you're going through it. Literally, I want to copy and paste the response to the entry about the person who wrote in about their rocky relationship with their mother. It's that same kind of like someone in your family that like you so validly want to have a relationship when they are going through their own individual turmoil and their own individual like path. Sometimes we have to step back even though we are blood. Yeah. And I think that's kind of where you're at now. And I'm really sorry because I've had like one rocky patch with my sister and it was actually like the worst thing in the world. I couldn't imagine going through this again. So I'm really genuinely sorry you're dealing with this. It's no worse feeling than losing like the one woman in your life that really understands everything from like birth. It's an indescribable feeling. And my heart does go out to you, but I think, like I said, I kind of want to copy and paste that answer of you kind of also just need to let her, period. Right. She's fucking 16. And again, I hate bringing age shit into it, but like she's a teen and a lot of what she's doing right now, all of what she's doing right now is out of your control. And I'm sure that strikes such a confusing chord in you being the older sister and kind of always like raising her. Like you said, you can't be that being anymore because she's growing into her own human. And I do hope that it is just a phase. And that's also something you never want to say to her. I think we all have been 16 before, and that's the last thing you want to fucking hear. So keep that between us.
This isn't a phase, Mom.
Right. So maybe don't say that to her, but like maybe I hope that brings some relief and hope into you that maybe like she will just kind of get through this. I was batshit when I was 16 too. My sister and I did not get along at all. Like same type shit. Like I was a freakazoid and I just had to get through it. And I hope that that's what this story is with her too.
Yeah. And I definitely understand your like want and your need to kind of save your sister right now, but this is just something that she needs to go through. Yeah. And like Kristen said, it is her age. Like she'll hopefully get to the point where she sees the like family dynamic as it is and like how you see it, because you're 21 and you did have that kind of older sister benefit to like to grow up and see the situation as it is being older.
Oh yeah.
And she'll get to that point, and like whether or not she does, there's nothing that you could do to change her perspective on it right now.
Yep. Which is hard, and I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Just try and protect yourself right now, and like we said, like reach out when you really want to, but if you find that like her harsh words and her lack of response or whatever her response is hurting you more than it's feeling better to reach out in the first place, then maybe some distance will do you good.
Right.
Which is hard to even say, but like, I'm so sorry. Just protect yourself right now.
Also, I looked up your IG and your art is really fucking cool.
Wait, whoa, what is this? You said it was a 3-foot cardboard head for a silly project. That is like
terrifying.
Something like sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Wait, this is so cool. Wow, you're so cute. Yeah, focus on you. Make some fucking many art about this. I'd eat up some sisterhood art.
Oh, whoa, this is called Eat It.
Whoa, I just said eat. There's your sign. Yeah, if you ever make any like deep sisterhood inspired art, tag me in it. I want to see it.
This is so fucking cool. You're so cool.
Okay, this was a long boy today.
Yeah.
We did a lot of yapping, but I really liked today's Oddvice column.
Yeah.
I like them all, but sometimes some
one
hit a little harder, and something was written in this one. I really liked this episode. I hope you guys did too. As always, we do have a Patreon where we do an extra episode every week, and that is patreon.com/Oddvice podcast. You can go check it out. We have 3 different tiers and everything. But for Patreon episode this week, we can, as always, keep more advice going. Let us know what you guys are going through, anything you want to share, any updates from past entries or anything. It's kind of like an ongoing communal conversation we have going on over there. It's amazing. So join it if you want. If not, thank you for listening on Mondays. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, I had to consciously not say Apple Music. I always say Apple Music. Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Make sure you rate us 5 stars and leave us a little review. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed, turn on your notifications, and comment down below what is your middle name and where did you get your middle name?
Ooh.
Like was your middle name like named after someone or something?
Yeah.
That just popped in my head. I just love learning.
That's
names.
like one of the first questions I ask people is what their middle name is. What's your middle name?
Yeah. Exactly. Me too. I love it.
Love middle names.
Yeah. Comment that down below.
Thanks to everyone who wrote in too. We always love seeing your guys' emails. And if we didn't get to it this time, resend it so it pops back to the top of our email. And like we said earlier, we do this episode every last Monday of the month. And if you don't follow us on socials, follow us there because we always post updates there to remind you to send in entries.
Yeah, we've been really zhuzhing up our Instagram. We've been getting some help on the side with that. So it's cute. It looks cute. And we're a lot more active than we were before. So
follow us on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, it's all advice at Oddvice Podcast, if you're wondering. I feel like that goes without saying though. Whatever. Okay,
love you guys. Have a good week. It's Monday.
Love you.
We're about to have a good weekend.
Yeah, I gotta go pee.
Love you.
Bye. Bye.